if I see your numbers at the bottom and, you're up there talking and you're saying, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do. I really want to see walk the walk instead of talk the talk. So if I know you're doing everything you can to be that A+ student in a group, I'm going to give you the business because I know that you will follow through with whatever you're saying you're going to do, because that's your commitment to BNI. So I do think that's very important, to make sure that you're at the top, to do the work. And once you do the work, you will get back what you put into it for sure.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Crystal Clear Business Podcast. My name is Crystal Pravette, and today we have Crystal Squared. We have Crystal Stotler from Top Tier Property Management.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Great to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
I know you're such a powerhouse in the San Diego community. Crystal Stotler is the queen, the property manager queen?
Property queen.
The property
that's
queen.
My
Yes.
new signature line, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to be like the alpha as far as doing a lot of different things when it comes to properties. So I definitely exercise the real estate portion of my business and the loan options that I can give and the property management. So it's kind of like a trifecta perfection kind of thing that I do.
Well, that makes sense because
Yeah.
the queen's supposed to take care of her people.
There
So
you go.
you're making sure your people are well taken care of.
Definitely.
I love that.
Yep, every aspect.
Yeah, you've got a lot of hands and a lot of pots, though. A lot of
Yeah.
things you got going on, and you're also part of my BNI group where we
Yes.
get to help other businesses as well as ourselves. And what do you like to say about BNI? I know that's a fun group that we're part of.
Oh, yeah. I just joined BNI, as you know, January of this year. And so it's pretty new to me. However, our group is amazing. Like I said, initially, it's just so welcoming and everybody is just so nice and they want to see you succeed. And I think that's so important. I am taking over a secretary term this term, I guess, coming up.
Leadership, here she comes.
I'm excited about that because I really think that there's a lot to offer to our group and to expand. And I'm really excited to take on that role and really push our team to be the best versions of themselves. So
it's so fun. And anyone who doesn't know what BNI is, it's called Business Networking International. And something that's neat about BNI is they have a philosophy called Giver's Gain. And I bring this up because Crystal is the epitome of Giver's Gain. She came into our chapter blazing, top of the number. She's at the top of the chart. She got everyone re-motivated, re-inspired. And it was just such a beautiful gift to be in our chapter, and I could feel your energy like infusing into some of like the more seasoned members who kind of maybe a little coasting along. It was like, oh, you brought this energy that kind of reinvigorated the group. What do you think that was?
I think it's just the new energy. You're absolutely right. I think once you're in kind of this everyday situation where you're just kind of floating by and coasting, you need somebody to kind of poke the bear, if you will. And I feel like having new blood, as we've seen with like new members that come in, just having that excitement again, like, hey, what brings us to BNI? Why did I sign up with BNI? What can BNI give back to me? Because I feel like there's a lot of people when they've been there for so long that kind of sit through and say, okay, where's my referrals? And really, BNI has so much to offer for anybody that's building their own business or has a business that they want to share with the world. The education is endless and the networking is just incredible. I mean, there's so many different chapters, like I've mentioned before, that you can cross chapter and go visit other people and really just expand your networking and touch different people and say, okay, this is what I do. Who are you? How can I help you? The Giver's Gain is huge. And I will say I did renovate my house this year, so that had a lot to do with it. I was able to utilize a lot of amazing people to get my house to where it needs to be and where it is now. So between, solar and everything like that, that was just, it was a chance for me to actually be like, okay, how can I help these people and how can they help me with this renovation that I have? So yeah,
and then
I
you're
just
giving
think it's great.
business to people that you know, like, and trust, and you're building this credibility with them as well. Because BNI has this equation called visibility plus credibility equals profitability. And I think that's one thing that leadership really does within the group is when you're more visible, it helps you stay really top of mind.
Right.
But there are some members that come in and join BNI and kind of do the bare minimum, but you really came in and did the like full maximum. like she was like, my attendance is really supposed to be 100%.
Oh yeah, it was at 99.
It was
Didn't
at 99.
realize that if you had a sub, you have
Yes. So
you get docked one little point, but
yeah.
I do think if you're gonna be in a group of amazing people, and you have to strive to be at the top, because if you don't, who's gonna trust you? I mean, if I don't see, if I see your numbers at the bottom, and you know you're up there talking and you're saying, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do. I really want to see walk the walk instead of talk the talk. So if I know you're doing everything you can to be that A+ student in a group, I'm going to give you the business because I know that you will follow through with whatever you're saying you're going to do, because that's your commitment to BNI. So I do think that's very important, to make sure that you're at the top, to do the work. And once you do the work, you will get back what you put into it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also resonate because I was the kid that wanted to sit in the front row of class.
Yeah.
I was the first kid with my arm up. So we had for a while, it was like Crystal Stotler, Crystal Pravette, Christinofia. Like, it was
all the C's.
All the Chris's we were on the top of the leaderboards. But, you know, it's important to track your progress too.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a goal, but you don't monitor and track it, how do you know you're really going to achieve it? So one thing that is kind of neat is the metrics, because it does show you, you know, who is in it to win it, who is the one doing the blocking and tackling.
And how are you doing, and how's it being measured? And, you know, that's kind of, I've been trying to do this CEU Tuesdays for people, because I know that the CEUs, which is continuing education, within the BNI group is, I find so much value in that. And even there's like almost 1,000 or maybe 1,000 now episodes with the founder, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like you go back to even the early days of any of these podcasts, and you find out the reason why they started this in the first place, and what value it brings to you in your business, and how you can give to other people, and how that transpires to coming back to you. So I definitely find it extremely valuable to get that education in, and to remind people that you paid money to be in this group. You might as well get your money's worth. So I think that's...
And what's neat is this podcast has a global audience, and BNI is a global networking group. It's actually one of the world's largest networking groups. So you can go to BNI and just look to see what chapter is nearest you if you're interested in growing your business. Absolutely. I know as entrepreneurs, some of us get in that solopreneur lane where we're trying to do everything all on our own, and it can be a little exhausting. And I know, like you, I didn't have to do a whole remodel or a bunch of renovations, but I did have a water leak, and I had to have one of our chapter members come in and cut some stuff out of the wall and demo some stuff. And it was so nice to have someone professional. That I'm a single mom, so like I know that you've been the single mom route as well. So people can kind of target us to try to take advantage in certain areas, and I feel like construction is one of those areas where they try to push a little.
They think you don't know.
Yeah, they think you don't know. They try to push a little, but it was really nice to have someone in my back pocket that I knew that I could trust, and I get a fair and reasonable. Yeah, I can get a reasonable rate. Not going to get taken advantage of, and that's for me. That's one reason that BNI was really important. Number one, I had to start all over with my network personally and as well as professionally. So I wanted to have people that were like-minded. I love, because we can kind of, having so many people in the group, and Gus that was on earlier today, he always talks about how much value he can add to his clients, because he now has this whole Rolodex of people that he can refer, which is also really great, because I know I would have no problem referring you for property management. Anyone that's used you is like glowing reviews. You know, when someone stays at the top of their game in other areas, there's a saying, how you do something is how you do everything. And I see that from you.
Oh, thank you. I try. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, I'm in a transitional period of not being a single mom anymore, because recently engaged and stuff. But it's hard. It's hard wearing all those hats, even not being a single mom, being a mom in general, and trying to wear all the hats all the time, and keeping the household up, and trying to keep everybody happy, and then running a business and trying to grow it. That's very challenging. But I think it is your attitude, the way that you do it, and how you look at it, and making sure that you keep your priorities straight, right? and taking care of the people that actually take care of you. So
Ooh,
at the
so
end of the day,
important.
yeah. I feel like, the people that refer you business and the people that I've worked with in BNI that have referred me business and that I've referred business that I've had a really amazing experience with, they are 100% my go-to people. And if we could all treat each other like that, I mean, we'd be millionaires. So.
Yes. Well, there's no lack, really. If we can really tap into it, there should be plenty of prosperity for all of us. So,
absolutely.
When we work together, it makes it a little more fun because I know when you're doing it all on your own, it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. I think I came to you and had a session with you when I first got into BNI because I was at that stage where everything was a little overwhelming, and you helped me considerably, and I saw the changes in my life just by being so present with my thoughts and the repetition and the things that you taught me as far as just the way that I think about things, and it's mind over matter. So I just love that. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I love hearing stuff like that because sometimes it's just one little small tweak inside of ourselves, and all the answers are already within us. It's just, are we accessing them? So I love that, the little shifts that we can create within ourselves.
Absolutely.
So I know that you're such a specialist in like the real estate market, especially in San Diego. Can you give like our audience any tips or tricks or takeaways of things that might help them if they're interested in like being part of the market?
So the reason that I got into the different avenues that I'm in now, I call it the perfect trifecta because I love to help tenants, which everybody kind of starts that way. If you're lucky enough to get into a house right away, that's great. Usually it's because you're parents, but it's okay. I love seeing tenants kind of transform themselves into buyers, and I love seeing owners kind of have that, income coming in and building that wealth with people that can actually pay their mortgage. So all in all, I feel like it's such a easy transition to kind of get to know more people and to build my business that way. I have been doing mortgage loans for 25 years and probably real estate for about 15. And I just love it. Like, I started the loan business when I was still in high school. It was a job that I took after school because I had to, but I just enjoy helping people. I mean, people say it's the American dream to own your own home. It really is. And it's really not even just owning your home. It's building that wealth for your family and yourself that can do so many things. But I do feel like right now it's been kind of a struggle the last couple of years, right? Because we've had interest rates go up. We've had a lot of differences in the market, which people are thinking it's a huge strain, whereas if you've been in the industry for a long time, you kind of see it's kind of the same thing that we saw in 2019.
Fluctuation.
Yeah, so it kind of goes up and down. It always has.
Cyclical.
But yeah, there is a lot of talk that things are really going to start happening again in the next 18 months. We have a lot of changes coming in the first quarter of next year. So if you're thinking about buying, or if you're thinking about getting out of that rental state, this is a good time to start thinking about it, and then transitioning obviously next year, because once those interest rates go down, we're going to see the housing market probably spike a little bit. Everybody says they're waiting for a crash. I don't think that's going to happen again. I don't have a crystal ball, but kind of. I've been pretty spot on about some things that happen, and
well, real estate kind of always, you're never going to really depreciate that much.
Right.
Like, as long as you hold on to it over a certain amount of time, it's going to go back up.
Yeah, and people say like the 2007, 2008 realm, they just, things happen, but there were bad loans being given out, and I feel like that doesn't happen anymore. So we have a different state of mind. We have a different lending situation happening. So I really feel like if you can afford it, do it, because eventually you're going to always say, I wish I would have bought 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Every single time. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for next year.
And really, some of the most wealthy people in the world use real estate as a way to leverage their wealth and to continue to build it and create that legacy to give on to their children.
Right.
And it's one of those things that once you own it, it's like, yeah, you have property taxes and yeah, there's maintenance, but that could be something that's in your home or in your family forever. And that's kind of neat, too, to be able to give that to your children as well.
Exactly. And I think that's my biggest thing that I love to do with people. I love to educate people about, okay, how does it look if my children want my home when I pass away? Or how does it, how do I set that up? Or how do I do creative financing because I don't get paid a W-2? Can I still afford a home? Do I need any money? Just those kind of questions. When it comes to loans and real estate, I just love educating people that way. And then for the property management side, I love educating owners, different laws, different rules, what their rights are, even tenant rights, what their rights are, because California is a very pro-tenant state. So education is key. Knowledge is power. So just knowing all of those things and having a go-to person like myself to call and ask questions, I think is helpful. At least I like to find value in that.
Yeah. Knowledge is power, and lack of knowledge is lack of power.
Absolutely.
And definitely want to make sure that we're educated. And I'm sure you have lots of, how do you stay abreast? Like, how do you keep up with
classes?
Classes.
Oh yeah, classes all the time. I mean, for real estate loans, we have to take classes every year. For property management, you definitely need to take classes, but there's also, I enjoy taking those classes, just like in BNI, I enjoy learning things on how to do new techniques within your business. So if somebody calls me and I say I don't know, I'm going to know the next day. So I feel like anybody should do that in their business. If there's something to learn about your business, be that person that knows everything.
Yeah, it's an opportunity because the next person, then you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if it's okay to say that you don't know,
right? I'll find out.
I'll get back to you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, people appreciate that honesty versus just telling them, something off the top of your head.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So your advice would be to get into the market wherever you can as soon as possible.
As long as you can afford it, get pre-approved, make sure that you can afford it, and if you can, then do it. It's going to pay off.
Yeah.
And remember, I know this is so cliche to say probably in my world, but don't marry the rate. Date the rate, marry the house. So just remember that. If you love the house, make it work.
Yeah.
Because rates will always fluctuate.
It's true. And the longevity of the house, and if it's something you love, then that also has a tangible value as well. Yeah.
And no, you can always move up, and that builds that, the profile that you have, investment opportunities, and you can still keep me in your back pocket for those, because I'll get good renters in there, because I know how to screen them. And
I was going to ask about, because your property management side is a little bit different than your real estate side.
Yeah.
Right? So what's
kind of,
yeah.
But
they probably kind of weave into one another and feed into one another, because people are scaling up.
Right.
But I know that you do set yourself apart a little bit in that property management area as well. What would you say, like, some of your things that keep you set you aside from some other property management?
I think it is my background. So processing an application for a loan is the same as processing, just not in detail, processing, an application for a rental. We want to make sure that we know who we're getting into properties. Are they going to take care of them? Are they financially responsible? What does that credit report look like? I mean, I've been doing that for so long, so I think that's a powerhouse when it comes to finding good tenants for good owners, and then also talking to owners. I mean, I've been talking to owners of real estate for the longest time. I know what they want for their property. I know how they want their property to be treated. I know how they want their financials to look and how the flow of their taxes go and their Schedule E's. So all those kind of things really implement it well into the property management realm of my whole sphere. So
especially in California, because like you mentioned, the property, the tenants do get a little bit more favored treatment here in California. So if you have the wrong tenant in there, it could cost you.
Oh, yes.
So your screening process could really save someone money, their property being damaged. That's probably some people's biggest investment. If you have this property that you're trying to rent out and you're finding, you just throw anyone in there, it could be really disastrous.
Oh, yeah. And it happens all the time. We see there's a lot of people that we work with that come to us after that happens. So in order to get a good tenant in there, you have to know the screening process. You have to know what to look for. But I do feel like, obviously hiring a property manager isn't free. And we take the load off of you as far as like maintaining the property, dealing with tenants and all that good stuff. But we also have a lot of good people behind us. We have, lawyers and attorneys in our back pocket where we bring them a situation and say, how do we handle this legally? What are our rights as far as an owner, property manager? So I really feel like that it has a lot to do with like the knowledge of the business too, and what your rights are, and knowing that the owner can trust us with their asset, their biggest asset, like you said. So I do think it's a beautiful thing to be able to rent out your property, but yeah, you definitely need to find the right people to screen your tenants, because that is the number one issue that I think most people have, and that's what causes people to go into, their notice of default, or not notice of default, but also telling them, okay, we need to get these people out of the property, or maybe they're treating their property not very well.
Yeah.
So it's, it can be tough sometimes, and you don't want to do that on your own.
Yeah, and it seems like, oh, well, now I have to invest money to have someone place someone into the property. But I have done real estate as well. I flipped 15 houses. I did vacation rentals, and I did some property management. And I can tell you, when a property is sitting there empty, you're losing money.
Absolutely.
And if that property is empty and you could take that 1 month of empty rental lack of income and put it towards someone to make sure that you've got someone incredible in there,
right,
that could save you a world of hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen it. I've had some interesting issues come up where things that you wouldn't have thought of, like I painted an apartment that I owned back several years ago, and the gentleman had a tarantula that had passed away because he didn't take it out when we had given him the steps. He missed that step. And this grown man crying over his tarantula. I did feel bad, but it was definitely, stuff happens like that. So if you can have someone, I feel like communication, you're really great at communication, and that's really key in these situations, because the more that you can have clarity in that communication, it really helps those situations.
That's true. I think having a good platform, we do have a really good app that we use that communicates with tenants, allows tenants to do their work orders online. That's super easy. We have 24/7 maintenance that, I don't know if they sleep, but I'm sure they try. But basically, when things happen, things get taken care of right away. And obviously, we know about it the next day, and we try to, remediate it as quickly as possible. But yeah, you don't want to deal with bad tenants, and the first step to not dealing with bad tenants is good screening. And I want to remind people too that you can negotiate rent just like you can negotiate a price on a property. And if you're an outstanding tenant and your credit score's up there, you have good income, you're going to take care of that property, we want you in that property. And if you say, hey, I can only afford this much money and I know it's being listed at this much, let's take that into consideration, because my owner's going to be so much happier, like you said, not waiting a month to try to find somebody that's willing to pay that top dollar if that's what they think their property's worth. So I'm constantly telling people, like, hey, if you qualify and everything looks good, and that's another thing that I think that sets ourselves out, is that we don't have a standardized requirements. I mean, there are things listed, but overall, it's an owner's decision on who they want in their house. And as long as you can give us some sort of feedback, I've helped a lot of single moms who, they're going through a divorce and maybe they have less than perfect credit, and they give me an explanation. I meet them in person. You can get a really good feel for people in person. Their energy level's great. You feel bad for them, but at the same time, that they're going to, pay their rent and take care of the home, because they're going to be so thankful. Yeah. So I really do feel like that sets us apart as a property management company, that we'll look at your whole picture. We're not just going to look at you as a piece of paper.
So discernment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone couldn't invest in a property manager and they were trying to screen their tenants.
We do that too.
What's one? I know you do that, but sometimes people want to try to do things themselves before they come to you later.
Yeah.
What's something that would be like one or two of those things that pop out as like a red flag when you're screening?
Meet somebody in person. I think that that's so important. We have a good showing manager that shows all of our properties. She's an agent too, so she knows what she's looking for and knows how to communicate with people. I've obviously met tenants or proposed tenants at properties, and you can really get a good feel for somebody when you meet them in person. And I hope this doesn't come out wrong, but the way that they have their car, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of car they have, but if they keep it clean and nice, I mean, those are kind of things that you say, okay, they take care of their items. They take care of things that mean the most to them. How they treat their children when their children are there. I mean, it's the little things like that that really can tell you that characteristic about that person and how they're going to treat your property.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. If you do have the accessibility to run somebody's credit and a background check, obviously that's a huge thing to do. We always have landlord references for the past 3 years. That's important. If they're living at home with mom and dad, you know, see where they're living. You know, I mean, it's just, you can pull up people's properties and just kind of get an overall feel for who they are as a person and what kind of background they come from. I mean, obviously it's not going to give a full breakdown of who that person is, but it'll give you a good idea.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great place for someone to start. If they
and social media.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry that you can kind of look at anybody you want to and see like how their life is basically on social media if it's not private, but
yeah,
we do that sometimes.
It's true. It does give you a little bit of an insight into someone that will give you some visibility into what it would look like of having them in your property.
Right. You want to make sure that they're responsible. So.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks.
So, any other tips or takeaways you want to give the audience?
No, just get educated, find somebody that can educate you, and ask the right questions. Ask all the questions. I tell people all the time, please ask me any question if you think it's silly or not. I think those are the best questions because you're like, oh, I didn't know that some people didn't realize that because they're not in my space. So just asking any question and knowing that you have the communication and the full picture of anything that you're doing, buying, refinancing, you know, renting out, or being the tenant or the owner, just ask all the questions.
And be open to being creative because
There you
like
go.
you said, there are some ways that you can kind of really help guide someone into a property if they're really a great tenant. I'm sure there's a solution. If they have the money or they're like maybe, you know, like one of those situations where it's very close.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things that you can do to help them.
Absolutely.
And I know that would definitely be within your wheelhouse to help those people. So yeah, I really loved having you on here today.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.
Thanks. The Crystal Squared. I love
it. And now, how can our audience get a hold of you?
So you can call me, 760-473-1798. You can call or text, or you can email at crystal@toptierproperties. Actually, I'm sorry, toptierpropmanagement.com. And my Instagram is Property Queen, Crystal Property Queen, so you can reach me there too.
I love that. And if you're in the San Diego area and you want to come see our BNI chapter, where I'll be the president and she'll be my secretary. I can't wait.
Come visit. You have to come visit.
It's free. It's free. It's electric. It's worth every penny. Yeah. So thank you, Crystal, for having visit us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Look forward to, if you found this episode helpful and you know someone in the property space, that whether they're buying or selling, even if it's something small, like don't be afraid to start with a small investment. Apartments appreciate too.
Oh yeah.
So definitely consider reaching out to Crystal or sharing this episode. That's how we grow. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.